Okay. So, as we all know, 48 hours ago, there was a little movie that came out, and it kicked off not only the blockbuster season, but, well, it kicked off blockbuster season. And I'm talking about Guardians of the Galaxy 3. This movie is going to be huge, and it is huge. And I have a couple of stories here I want to talk to you guys about because it's really fascinating to see some of this stuff. I saw it Thursday. We're going to be doing the spoiler cast later on today. I can't wait. I can't wait. I thoroughly enjoy this. Um, Now, people are going to say, well, it's one of the, I think what you can only do with these kind of films is compare apples to apples. So you can't compare this to another Ant-Man movie or an Iron Man movie or a Captain America movie. You have to compare it to Guardians of the Galaxy movies, right? And I got to say, this one was amazing. So it's fascinating because when we talk all about numbers, that so this did. Let me just read the article and then I'll talk another one because they have, excuse me, they have a projection for what it might be making too for the weekend. So Guardians of the Galaxy rockets to a 48 million opening day. Guardians of the Galaxy kicked off the summer blockbuster on Friday. Okay, kicks off the. While Disney's domestic numbers have yet to come in, analysts indicate that it drew about $48 million on its opening day. Bear with me real quick. I just want to get one more thing ready for you guys. Okay, we'll come back to it. So, okay. So here is the full story. Sorry about that, guys. Guardians of the Galaxy formally kicked off the summer blockbuster season on Friday with 48.2 million in its opening day. Now that includes 17.5 million on Thursday. The trilogy capper is on track to land within the expected weekend, which is pegged the Disney release to take root of about 110 to 120 million dollars debuting through Thursday. That would be enough to notch the second highest opening of the year, only behind Super Mario at 146, coined over a 3-day period. However, it would roughly be a quarter down from 146.5 million earned by Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 back in 2017. The James Gunn directed Extraterrestrial has garnered favorable nods with a 67 approval rate from top critics on review aggregate Rotten Tomatoes. Variety chief film critic Peter DeBurge was extremely favorable, naming a film's critic pick. Gunn toys with the morality of his ensemble as well, but he does so responsibly, honoring the bonds that we've made with these characters over the years and recognizing that the Guardians will eventually evolve, he wrote. But even now, encouraging the Marvel Studios is a sterling response of the first round of ticket buyers, as indicated from the film's A grade through research firm CinemaScore. The strong result matches Black Panther Wakanda Forever and is a leg up of the B-level grades earned by the recent Ant-Man and the Wasp and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Some disappointed murmurs have steadily grown among Marvel audiences in the years since the 2019 Raptures received a superbly commercial team-up Avengers Endgame, but Guardians 3 seems to have the favor of the fans. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 bids farewell to Chris Pratt's Star-Lord and his crew of interstellar heroes played by Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, I'm going to butcher her name, I'm sorry guys, Plemkifa, and Karen Gillian, as well as the voices of Vin Diesel and Bradley Cooper. The new name gives insight to Rocket Raccoon's tragic past as the team faces off against the High Evolutionary. It's certainly a good week to be Chris Pratt, though, as audiences continue to see his flock and turns as the Super Mario Bros. Movie. After 4 weekends at the domestic box office, Universal, Nintendo, and Illumination Animated Adventure is finally falling to second place this weekend, projecting to an $18.5 million gross through the weekend. That's down about 55% from the previous outing, Mario Brothers has not faced a week-to-week drop higher than 37% so far. That shows how Guardians 3 is taking a bite out of ticket sales for the video game adaptation, but also demonstrates the impressive staying power that Mario has sustained through a month in the theaters. Total domestic gross should stand at about $518 million through Sunday, far and away the highest of the year so far. Speaking of, Evil Dead Rise looks to take third at about $1.6 million. The Warner Brothers release has now crossed $50 million, matching a $19 million production budget. The wacky horror entry was originally commissioned for an HBO Max release. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret is in fourth place, projecting $3.2 million in its second weekend. That's a modest holding of 51%, even though its $10 million domestic gross has little hope of matching its $30 million production budget. And so you had John Wick that came in at the fifth slot and Love Again at the fourth. Okay, let's talk about this. It's good and bad. I'm gonna say it's good because it's really, it's a good take home. Okay, what I have always said is this. Okay, it is not the first week. So you have to understand something too. The last 5 titles prior to this, okay, actually ended up making about $156 million when it comes to opening weekends. Average. Doctor Strange was at 187 at the high point, and the Wasp was at the low point, 107, I think. It's not about the first weekends, okay? It's all about the second weekends. Now, the fact is that this is a good movie. Is it the first Guardians? No, because it's hard to duplicate that success, but it's still not bad. Now, when you get about 110 or 120 million dollars, it's not bad. It's not bad, okay? And it was different in the respect that it was completely isolated from everything else, and that's a problem that Marvel is having now. Okay, and we've talked about it before, is that a lot of these films coming out are either sequels or standalone films. Okay, I mean, you take a look at Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, you take a look at Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness, you take a look at Ant-Man: Wasp: Quantumania. There's no actual vision of where they're going, and that's a problem. And having Kang in there for that particular film, because in Phase 4 there was nothing. We heard nothing. Okay, I mean, yes, we had hits like Spider-Man: No Way Home and a couple others, but there was no big bad law, and so they had, I won't say shoehorned it. They had shoehorned him in the first thing. Even the end credit scenes. By the way, guys, like I said, stay tuned for later on today when we do the spoiler cast. Come back and join us for that. I think that this is a good movie. This is a very good movie, and I think that all of that being said, I'm gonna go see it again probably. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was it's one of the better entries into the MCU that we've had in the last couple of years, for sure. And I liked it. And it's going to be fascinating to see what the box office drop is from this week to next week, because and I've said it before, okay? This is it. Look, at the end of the day, there are 3 films. Okay, I've said this before. There are 3 films, okay, that are going to win 2 weekends. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was one of them. Okay, The Flash was the other one, and Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1 was going to be the other one. That being said, I'm really curious to see what the drop-off is going to be between this weekend to next weekend, because Fast 10 is going to win in a couple of weeks. So But once again, it's not all about money. You know, Disney's going to make their money overseas with this. I liked it. You know, it was good. I got to be honest. I teared up a couple times. I won't say I cried, but I got a little emotional because it was. We're seeing not only the finale of it, but we're seeing the journey and not only the journey but the origin of one of the characters there. So if you guys haven't seen this already, go see it. Come back. I'm going to do the spoiler cast later on today with Matthew, and that's going to be a blast. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Anyways, guys, what do you guys think about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? Have you seen it yet? If so, how many times have you seen it? Have you gone to see it, a couple times during the weekend? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments.